Sharad Institute of Technology, Polytechnic Edrao, Department of Electrical Engineering. Myself, Ms. R. Patil, welcomes all the second year electrical students to Fundamentals of Power Electronics session. For SY Electrical, there is a subject Fundamentals of Power Electronics whose abbreviation is FPE and subject code is 22326. In this session, we are going to see examination scheme, teaching scheme and course outcomes of the subject, syllabus and weightage of the chapters, introduction to FPE and first unit power transistor. So this is teaching scheme and examination scheme of FPE. For FPE, 4 lectures per week and 2 hours practical per week is allotted. So the total credit of the subject is 6 hours. Examination scheme of the subject is, it has theory as well as practical examination. It has end semester exam of 70 marks and internal of 30 marks. So the total theory marks allocation is 100. And FP also has external practical oral of 25 marks and term work of 25 marks. So practical weightage is 50. Next is course outcomes of FPE. So course outcomes means when student completely study the subject, he'll get the knowledge of each chapter. So in short, he is going to fulfill some outcomes here. So when he studies the first chapter, he will be able to select power electronics devices for specific applications. So he'll get the knowledge about the different types of power electronic devices and how they are using in a different applications. Next, second one, when he studied second unit, he'll get the knowledge about thyristors. So the second CO is he will be able to maintain the performance of different types of thyristors. Next, third one, he is able to troubleshoot turn on and turn off circuits of thyristors. So for the thyristors, we need external turn on and turn off circuits for the performance here or for the operation. So student will get the knowledge about different types of turn on and turn off circuits. Next, fourth one, maintain phase controlled rectifiers. So when he studied the fourth chapter, he will be able to maintain different types of phase controlled rectifiers. And the fifth one, maintain industrial control circuits. So student will be able to maintain different types of control circuits which are used in industry. Next, for the FPE subject, we are having totally 5 chapters. So the first one, power electronics and device, which carries 6 marks. So in this chapter, we are going to see different types of power electronic devices. So in the last semester, we have studied elements of electronics. In that subject, we studied diode, BJT, their construction and applications. But in this chapter, we are going to study some power electronic devices. So, in the first chapter, we are going to study different types of power electronic devices construction and how they are different than the basic electronic element. Next, second unit is thyristors and family. So, in second unit, we are get the knowledge about different types of thyristors, their constructional structure, working, what are their VR characteristics and what are the applications. Next, third is turn on and turn off methods of thyristors, which carries 14 marks. So we know meaning of thyristor, we'll get the knowledge about thyristor in a second unit. But when that thyristors are used in any particular application, to operate those thyristors, we need external turn on and turn off circuits along with the supply. So to make those thyristor to turn on, we need some circuits, and to turn off that, we need some external elements here. So what are the different methods of turn on and what are the different turn off methods are there for the thyristor, that we are going to study in third unit. Next, fourth is phase control rectifiers. So we know the meaning of rectifiers, that is as an electronic circuit which converts AC in the form of DC, and in rectifier circuits basically diode is used for the rectification. But here we are going to study the phase control rectifiers. It means the meaning is same as these are the circuits used for the conversion of power only. That is, by the phase control rectifiers we can convert AC in the form of DC. But here rectification element is used as a SCR, and in normal rectifiers we are using diode as rectification element. Next, last, fifth is industrial control circuits, so which carries 15 marks. So in all the industry we need some control circuits here. So those control circuits are basically constructed by the power electronic element. So in the last chapter we are going to study about different control circuits which are already adopted in the industries, how they perform, how they are controlling, how the application is going to be controlled. That all we are going to study in fifth unit, that is industrial control circuits. So the next is industrial need of power electronics. That is the some basic applications of power electronics. In which sector generally the power electronics is used? So the power electronics is generally used in automotives and traction system. Next, they are also used in industries and household applications, in renewable energy system, in utility system. So here we are seeing two objectives here. So two images we are seeing here that represents the household applications. So how the power electronics is used in household application? So normally in everyone's house we are using a inverter for the use whenever the supply gets cut off. But inverter is used. So here we can see the inverter. So this inverter gets the supply from power electronics circuit, and power electronics is connected to the utility grid. So utility grid means from where we are getting the electrical supply, which is in the form of AC. But some of the applications need AC as well as DC supply. So for that DC we need a DC conversion, and some of the household applications need AC supply here. So for that DC to AC conversion is required. But the available supply from the grid is always in the form of AC. And if the supply gets disconnected, we use inverter, but inverter stores electricity in the form of DC in fuel cell here. So here the supply from the utility grid is connected to the power electronic circuit, which converts AC in the form of DC, so DC load, and it connects to the DC applications, and the same DC is stored in the fuel cell here. So suppose if power gets cut off, then the supply from fuel cell is connected to the power electronic circuit, which converts DC in the form of AC and connects to the household applications through inverter. So this is one type of application used in household. Next, in this image we are going to see the AC supply connection and solar panel. The AC supply connection which is given to the household application through the meter and through the panel, and from the panel the connection is given to the household applications. So this available AC supply is in the form of AC, and that AC is used for some of the applications in house. But here we are seeing a solar PV array which generates solar energy in the form of DC. So that DC is given to the inverter, and from the inverter we are taking AC. So here inverter is one of the power electronic application or power electronic circuit which converts DC supply in the form of AC, and it connects to the house breaker panel, and from the house breaker panel we are giving supply to our household applications. So in this manner we are using a power electronic circuit for different applications. In nowadays, traction is a most commonly used application here. So in traction system also, some of the power electronic circuits are used to control the speed of motor, which are used in traction system. Next, in industry, some of the power electronic circuits are used for temperature sensing, or some of the electronic circuits are used to sense some other activities. So the control circuits are used in industry also. So renewable energy means, so this image represents the power electronic application in a renewable energy system. Next, first unit, power electronics devices. So in this chapter, we are going to study different types of power electronic devices, their construction, working and characteristics. So before proceeding to first unit, we'll get the idea about power electronics. So generally power electronics means it is a electronics branch which deals with the conversion and control of power. That is, already I have told about the rectifier. So rectifier converts AC in the form of DC, and inverter circuit converts DC in the form of AC. That is the conversion of power. Or else we can increase the power or we can decrease the power by using a power electronic circuits here. So basically power electronics refers as it is a branch of electronics which deals with the conversion and control of power. That is, by using a power devices we can control the output of the circuit also. Next, power electronics is based on the switching of power semiconductor devices. That is, for the conversion or for the control, here we are using a power semiconductor devices. And we know the meaning of semiconductor, that semiconductor material which has both property. That is, it acts as conductor as well as it acts as insulator. So when it acts as a conductor, current flows through the device. That is, it operates as a closed switch. And when it acts as an insulator, the current doesn't flows. That means it is used as a open switch. So the semiconductor devices are basically used as a switching element. And by using this switching element, power conversion or control can be achieved. Next, the conversion of power is done with the help of semiconductor devices. And these devices acts as a switches without any mechanical movement. So without any mechanical movement means what? Normally in houses we are using a switch which has the function to make on and off. But power semiconductor devices are not having any movement, but they can be used as a switch here. So when they are on, they use it as a closed switch, and when they are off, they are used as open switch. So some of the semiconductor devices we are studying in this syllabus are thyristor, power diode, power MOSFET and power transistor or power BJT. So power transistor, in that first is power transistor, which has three types. So power transistor is again classified as power BJT, IGBT and MOSFET. So in that first one, power BJT. So first is power BJT. So as name itself indicates, it is related with the power. So power BJT, it has high current handling capacity. So when current is high, it generally means that power will be large. So power BJT has the specification to handle large current as well as large power as compared with the normal BJT. So normal BJT means already we have studied that NPN transistor and PNP transistor. So those normal transistors are having a low current handling capacity, whereas power BJTs are having high power handling capacities. Next, second, it offers large voltage resistance during off state than the normal BJT. So during off state of the BJT, this power BJT has a high voltage resistance capacity than the normal BJT. They can offer high voltage resistance. Next, third one, it offers high current handling capacity during on state than the normal BJT. It means when power BJTs are turned on, through the power BJT, we can make the current, high level current we can make to flow. So they can withstand with the high current value. Next, fourth is the power BJT has vertical oriented structure. So normal BJTs has horizontal structure, it has horizontal layers, but the power BJT has vertical structure. Next, due to this vertical structure, the emitter doping level is high, by which current gain decreases. And next, it handles some more current. So the name indicates as the BJTs are only meant for large power. So when power is large, it directly indicates that the BJTs has the capacity to handle large current here. So when current is more, the heat generation is also more. So that heat can be dissipated in atmosphere. So whenever power BJTs are constructed, they are having large metallic body to dissipate power in the form of heat. Next is construction and working of power BJT. So here we can observe this is the normal BJT and this is the power BJT. So here we can observe the constructional difference between normal BJT as well as power BJT. So see, normal BJT is also having three layers: N layer, P layer and N layer. So outer N layer connected to the emitter terminal and inner P layer connected to the base, and this outer N layer connected to the collector terminal. In the same way, the power BJT is also having N plus layer, P layer, N minus layer and N plus layer. So the constructional difference between both the BJTs is, in normal BJT only 3 layers N, P, N we are having, but in power BJT external N minus. So this N minus region is present, that is called as collector drift region. So due to this collector drift region, there is a constructional difference between normal BJT as well as a power BJT. So due to the presence of this collector drift region, the power BJTs can handle more power here. So the construction also shows the vertical orientation. See here, the construction is vertical orientation in a power BJT, but normal BJT has horizontal construction. So the normal BJT has only 3 layers. There is no any extra drift layer. Therefore, the power capacity of normal BJT is low. But here in power BJT, we are having collector drift region. So due to which these power BJTs have a high capacity to handle more power, and also they can withstand with the large reverse voltage. Next, the power BJT, it is a 3-layer 2-junction NPN or PNP. So the structure is NPN or PNP. So power BJT is also called as a bipolar because in these BJTs current constitutes due to both the charge carriers, that is by holes and also by the electrons. Next, it has N negative region, that is called as collector drift region. And due to this present of this N negative region, it will increase the voltage blocking capacity of a power BJT. So during normal operation, that is during the forward biased mode, power BJTs operates as a normal switches here. So they can operate same as a normal power semiconductor devices. But when the reverse voltage is given here, so due to this present of this N minus, that is collector drift region, when the reverse voltage is given, the power BJT operates as a switch, that is it operates as open switch. So during that condition, the depletion layer width goes on increasing here. See, in a normal BJT, we are having thin junctions. So emitter base junction and collector base junctions are thin here. So during a reverse biasing, the width of depletion layer will be low. But in power BJT, along with this middle P layer, we are having one extra N minus layer. So due to the presence of this drift region, the depletion layer width will be more, and the application supply is in the form of reverse. So as the drift region is present here, this power BJT has high capacity to withstand that negative voltage. So in a normal BJT, what happens? If we increase the negative voltage, at some extent the depletion layer gets breakdown with the negative voltage, and through the normal BJT negative current flows, and that negative current makes the device to get damaged. But in power BJT, due to the presence of collector drift region, the width of depletion layer will be more. So even if we increase the negative voltage, the width of depletion layer will not have any breakdown. So there is no flow of negative current. So due to which the device remains protected here. So that is the advantage of presence of N minus region, that is collector drift region. Next, due to the presence of this negative negative N layer, that is there is a higher doping at emitter and collector. So N plus layer is connected to the emitter, this N plus layer is connected to the collector, and P and N negative is connected to the base. So here there is a higher doping between emitter and collector. So this is higher doping of emitter and collector region here. So due to the presence of this higher doping level in a power BJT, the current gain, that is beta is equals to IC by IB, which will gets decreases, due to which voltage gain remains increased here. So that is one more advantage of power BJT, due to the presence of collector drift region. So this is the basic difference between power BJT and normal BJT. So the normal BJT is having three layers, N layer, P layer and N layer, and to which emitter, base and collector terminals are connected. But the power BJT, that is one extra collector drift region is present. So due to the negative N layer, that is collector drift region, the doping level is high. The doping level means, so here the emitter and collector, in between the emitter and collector there is a highest doping level is present, due to which current gain beta decreases, and due to the presence of N minus layer, during the reverse biasing width of depletion layer will be more. So as if we increase the negative voltage, there is no breakdown of the depletion layer, and if the depletion layer remains withstand, then there is no flow of negative current. So device is protected. But in case of normal BJT, the emitter base junction and collector base junctions are thin, due to which the width of the depletion layer will be low, by which if the negative voltage is increased, the depletion layer gets breakdown and higher negative current flows, and that may damages the normal BJT. So therefore the normal BJTs are used for low power handling applications, and power BJT, as per the name, the power BJTs are used for the high power handling applications. So as the power is high, these BJTs has a capacity to handle large current, and also they have large capacity to block the reverse voltage during reverse biasing, and that blocking is done by the presence of collector drift region. Next is symbolical representation of power BJT. So symbols are as same as similar to the normal BJT, that is, so they are having the emitter, base and collector. So here the arrow represents the emitter terminal, and this arrow direction represents the flow of current. So in NPN transistor, arrow is outward direction, and in PNP the arrow indicates inward direction, and arrow mark is always represented on emitter terminal here. So this is the symbolical representation of power BJT: emitter, collector, base with arrow, and arrow represents difference between arrow itself differentiate the NPN transistor as well as PNP transistor. Next is operating modes of power BJT. So generally power BJT operations are divided in 4 modes. They are cutoff region, active region, quasi saturation region and hard saturation region. In that, first is cutoff region. So cutoff region, it indicates that the power BJT is in a off state. So the first operating region is cutoff region. So cutoff region means the power BJT is in a off state. That is when CE junction and CB junction both are reverse biased, then BJT operates in cutoff region. That is, it operates as a open switch. So the application of power BJT during cutoff region is open switch. Next, active region. So when BE junction, base to emitter junction, is made forward biased and collector to base CB junction is made reverse biased, then BJT operates in active region, and during active region it is generally used as a amplifier. So basically for the active region it is a closed switch, but it can be used for the amplifier applications. Next is quasi saturation. So saturation region gets divided in 2 types again, that quasi saturation region and hard saturation region. So that is the difference is what? When the power is low level, means the power is saturated, then the BJT operates in a quasi saturation, or when BJT operates in quasi saturation, it is meant for low power application, and if the BJT operates at hard saturation region, then it is meant for the high power applications. So it happens when both the junctions, CB junctions and CB junctions and B junctions both are forward biased, then BJT gets shifted from active region to the saturation region. So at this condition, the drift layer will be lightly doped and it is used for the low power application. So if the base current is further increased, then the quasi saturation BJT gets shifted into hard saturation region and it is used for high power applications. So those all the 4 modes of operation of power BJTs are represented here. See here. So this is the cutoff region. Next, so this is active region, quasi saturation and hard saturation. So the first one is cutoff region. So when cutoff region achieves when the base current is meant 0, that is, here we are not giving any input to the power BJT, then power BJT will be in the form of a off condition. So that region is called as a cutoff region. Next, second one is active region. So during the active region, so already we know the active region means one junction is made forward and the output CB junction is made, input junction is made forward biased and output junction is made as a reverse biased. That condition, the BJT operates in active region. So if we increase it, see here we can see the line that if we increase it, a collector to emitter voltage, that is input voltage, if we are going to increase it, and they at that condition when the voltage reaches to the, see here, when voltage reaches beyond the breakdown voltage with base current 0, then that is called as a primary breakdown. And if the voltage is increased and base current is mentioned as a 0, here we are making base current less than 0 and here we are making base current equals to the 0. at that condition the transistor shifts into secondary breakdown, and that layer is called as a active region. And when transistor operates in active region, it is used as a amplifier. Next, here we can observe, see, for a quasi saturation, the as input voltage is increased, the collector current gradually increasing. It means the current increases slowly. So that condition is called as quasi saturation, that is power will be limited, low power. But the hard saturation curve represents that when the voltage is increased and the current is increasing sharply. That means as the current increases sharp, the power will be more. So at that condition, the power BJT gets shifted into hard saturation region. So these are the four regions of power BJT. Cutoff region, that is both the junctions are reverse biased. So power BJT will be off. Second, active region, that is input junction is forward, output junction is reverse. So that is active region. In that condition, it is used for the amplifier applications. And next is saturation. The saturation region gets divided as again quasi saturation region and hard saturation region. In that, quasi saturation region is meant for low power and hard saturation region is meant for high power, because in a hard saturation region current increases sharply, but in quasi saturation the current increases gradually with the increase in voltage. Next is applications of power transistor. So the basic applications of power transistor are, they are used in SMPS, that is switch mode power supplies, relays, power amplifiers. So already I have told, when power BJT operates in active region. So when it operates in active region, then its application is used as a power amplifier. Next, the power control circuits. So power control circuit means if it operates in cutoff region, it is used as a off switch, and if it operates in the saturation region, then it is used as a closed switch. So at that condition, we can perform some power control applications here. So these are the applications of power BJT. So this is overall of power BJT. So already in this session, we studied about the power BJT, that how it is different than the normal BJT. So in construction, we see the normal BJT has horizontal structure with 3 layer, but the power BJT has vertical orientation with a 3 layer and one more extra collector drift N negative layer, due to which it has the capacity to handle high power, and also it has the capacity to handle large reverse voltage during reverse biasing. Next, the characteristics of a power BJT, which are divided in four regions. Cutoff, in cutoff region used as open switch, in active region used as amplifier, in saturation used as closed switch. So again, saturation region has the two types as quasi saturation and hard saturation. In quasi saturation, it is for a low power application, and in hard saturation, it is for high power application. So this is all about power BJT. Thank you.